Talking to the Lakeland Boys Lacrosse here in the John Mendola Show. Greg Kopa, the head coach, is with us. And Greg, let's talk about getting lacrosse to Lakeland, that process, what that was like, and now here it is, and you guys are out there having some fun.
Yeah. So about 3 years ago, actually a little bit before then, you have to do a lot of research to figure out what type of kids are going to actually maybe go for the sport, right? You want to have a good turnout. Being in the lacrosse environment for a number of years allowed me to make a lot of different contacts through U.S. Lacrosse and the Philadelphia Lacrosse Association, who's responsible for our region here in the Northeast. And through those contacts, I was able to set up a grant. The grant is available throughout the whole United States, and we're fortunate enough to get awarded that grant, which allowed for 20 sets of equipment, along with coaching classes and whatnot. And it helped out get the program going because it's expensive, right? So a lot of the schools now don't have a lot of money to put towards things, and especially to ask the kids to go out and buy a couple $100 worth of equipment for something they never played before, not even sure if they like, is a little difficult. But we were able to do that a few years ago and get that off the ground.
And as you say, some more traditional sports may be funded, and different school districts are finding ways to try to get lacrosse funded and be creative. As you said, the U.S. Lacrosse Association has been fantastic. Talk a little bit about getting kids now to buy in and get interested and say, okay, it looks pretty fun. I want to go out for lacrosse now.
Sure.
And the youth programs hopefully will fuel that. But you guys are trying to get the ball rolling at Lakeland. It seems like the interest is there right now.
Yes. So last year we started the youth program, so this is the second season for that, which is great because a lot of the schools end up developing their feeder programs, so then it can sustain the sport at the high school level. So a lot of these kids that are playing for, say, Scranton Youth or some other youth program, if their high school doesn't have the sport, it's very difficult for them to continue on in that, and it's disappointing to see them end that sport. So I offered my expertise to some other areas of individuals that want to know how to get that sport involved in their school so that their young athletes can continue on and flourish and create opportunities for them. So one of the best things that you can do for kids is to create opportunities, right? So something additional for their resume, maybe it opens a door up for them someplace. To get kids that play a new sport, a lot of these kids are some kids that have not played anything in the spring. Or maybe they tried baseball or track and it wasn't for them. They classify lacrosse as one of the fastest growing sports in the United States. And it's also, they call it the fastest sport on 2 feet. But as soon as they get that cross in their hand and they start realizing that it's a little more than just running up and down a field. There's some coordination, there's speed, there's athleticism to it, reflexes. So it does have a mix of a lot of different sports, basketball, hockey, and soccer put together. So it's very active, right? So the kids aren't standing around. So a lot of these kids that maybe get bored with one of their sport where they're waiting for things to happen, that doesn't happen in lacrosse. It's very fluid and very motion. So a lot of these kids end up enjoying the sport because they're not standing on the sideline.
The league, playing in the Wyoming Valley Conference, there's some teams up in the Scranton area, North Pocono and Abington and Lakeland.
Yep.
And Scranton Prep's been a traditional, Delaware Valley's been the kind of the staple. It's good to see the game of lacrosse growing, good to see everybody involved. Physicality, the guys seem to like the physicality of lacrosse as well. Yeah,
the guys seem to enjoy it. It's not as, I would say, physical as football because, the helmet to helmet and collisions, they're trying to keep it a very safe sport in that regard. But it is very physical, and having it as a co-ed team for the first 2 years playing boys rules, the girls stepped up. So a lot of these girls that are now playing on the new program we started this year with the girls team, they're like, well, I love doing this, playing for the boys team, and they're like, well, the rules have changed. You can't be as physical on that girls side of the house. They do try to keep it safe. There's a lot less equipment involved. There's no pads and whatnot. But yeah, the boys is definitely physical, and to compete with some of those season clubs out there, it's difficult sometimes. They have a lot of good kids in these teams, Crestwood and Dallas and Del Val, and hopefully someday as the feeder program develops, you're going to see Lakeland be at that top tier.
We have a mix of different types of coaches. Coaches that have played lacrosse, some coaches never played lacrosse, some coaches coached other sports like Jeff Krasolski at Delaware Valley was a basketball guy. He's a pretty good lacrosse coach at DV. Guys up in Mountaintop, they played it before, so a mix of it. Dave Kelly down at Coughlin never played, but he played baseball. So Talk a little bit about just trying to get coaches up to speed and making sure the players will follow and kind of learn the game a little bit.
Yeah, so I was brought into it because my son, 10 years ago, happened to win a lacrosse stick at a fundraiser, and we joined Scranton Youth Lacrosse, and the parents said, hey, need some help over here, come on over. And I said, well, I never played before. And so that just kind of spearheaded and the ball rolling and everything, and saying, this is something my son enjoys, let's get more involved. So through the education process, I'm level 1 U.S. Lacrosse certified. I went through multiple different coaching level courses at other organizations, and coaching from the youth all the way up, and experiencing that enables you to help these kids out and teach them a new sport, whether I never even played it. Now I played golf, right, baseball, football, soccer and whatnot. So, but there was no lacrosse and even limited soccer when I was growing up anyway.
Sure.
You know, and it seems like lacrosse kind of went around this pocket of Northeast Pennsylvania for a number of years. And within the last 10 years, it's picked up, which is really nice to see.
Yeah, it is, and they're getting a lot of tournaments and growing the sport here in Northeastern Pennsylvania. Hopefully, you know, talking to some local college coaches like Mr. Cordy saying, hey, we're getting a player or two now for Northeastern Pennsylvania, so it gives them opportunities. Greg, what will be success for this Lakeland program? Is it just getting out there and playing this year? Going to win a couple games that's going to feel good?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I always believe that playing in the game is a lot better than practice. You can only practice for so long, and then these kids just want to play. And now with the weather, a lot of games get changed or canceled, so we end up having a lot of games back-to-back, which is great. I'd rather see the kids get on the field and play, and then we can sit down and talk about what went good, what went bad, and hopefully correct some of those things moving forward. And the best part of it is it's a fraternity. All right, lacrosse ends up being where I've been around all over the country, and as soon as you mention that you play lacrosse or you coach lacrosse or you do whatever with it, they're like, oh, well, by the way, you know, and you end up having friends pretty much wherever you go. So this team here is definitely a fraternity, and we hope to continue on that brotherhood moving forward.
All right, great to catch up with you. Thanks for coming out.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it.
Gavin Kopa here on the John Mendola Show. Gavin, let's talk a little bit about it's your senior year. You got your dad as your coach. You've been playing lacrosse for quite some time. What do you expect from yourself this year to have that relationship with your dad and kind of figure it out, I guess?
So really, I just want to kind of like step up for the team and just be there for everyone. Not only be a goal scorer, but be able to help out, assist, and even help at practices and everything.
You'll look back at this one day and say, you know, hey, this program was just getting off its feet. You know, 5, 10, 15 years from now, hopefully it's continuing at Lakeland. What is it about the sport of lacrosse you really enjoy?
So really, it's just it's fast-paced. I really like that. I started off as defense. I just liked hitting kids in the beginning, but our team kind of needed a little leader, so I stepped up, started playing midi and attack to help us score some goals. It's just a fun sport to play.
As a senior, and being around the sport, talk about how you're trying to influence some of the younger players and just get guys out for the team, then getting them interested and saying, hey, here's what you should be doing. I'm sure there's a little player coach going on there as a leader.
Yeah, so me and my friends, we really try to recruit, like, my one buddy plays on the football team, Josh Kovaleski's our defender. He tried to really recruit a lot of football kids, so we got a couple to come out. And of course, we got some new kids that are just heard about it and wanted something to try out instead of baseball or track. And it's really just trying to get them to be able to pass, catch, and just learn the fundamentals of the sport starting out for us.
Soccer player as well. How serious were you with soccer?
So, well, we went to, 13-0 this season. I was the center defenseman, kind of. And it's just a really good time going out there and bonding with everyone.
National Honor Society, Student Council, doing some other great stuff at school and clubs, FBLA. Talk a little bit about being involved.
So I've been the treasurer for a class for 2 years now on the Student Council, and I just signed up for FBLA last year, and I made it to states this year. We went down to Hershey. I really just want to organize stuff for our class and just help everyone have a good time, you know.
Younger sister Alexa, talk about your relationship with her, and is she an active athlete as well?
Well, she does cheerleading, and really being able to drive now since I'm older, I've kind of bonded more with her because we're in the car a lot, and I'll do anything for her, you know.
Biology, one of your favorite subjects. You got a 94 average, doing great stuff there. Talk about what it's like to be a student athlete at Lakeland and walk those halls. A lot of tradition.
Yeah, so every Friday or game day, you're wearing your jerseys. Everyone kind of looks up to you, I'd say, as like the younger kids, 7th and 8th graders. you really got to step up too. You know, in the harder classes you get a lot of work, but you can pull it off.
College is just around the corner. Looks like you made a decision. So talk about the schools you had in the mix and then where you ultimately decided to go.
So I had Penn State, DeSales, Arcadia, and Marywood in the U. So I really wanted that city type of feel, and the U had it, but it was kind of small, and I wanted to get away. So I chose Temple, and I'm proud of my decision.
And a physician's assistant, talk about that's a pretty tall task. Why you want to go into that?
So I really like biology, and they have the CHOP down there, the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, and I think I'll just work really good with kids. I just want to give kids better life.
Let's talk about your role model. Your dad is who you put down, the relationship you had with him. I'm sure there's been a lot of drives in the car with lacrosse and probably some other conversations you've had, but you got to be a complete person. You seem like you are with the academics and the athletics.
Yeah, so me and my dad, freshman year I actually went to prep because Lakeland didn't have a lacrosse team, and my dad really took it upon himself to try to get a team for us. So he really worked on the grants and everything, and I just respect him so much. He's always involved in anything I do, and he just wants whatever I want and whatever is best for me.
Yeah, but as this year goes on, you want to keep trying to make positive steps as a program. What needs to happen in the next month with lacrosse at Lakeland?
Honestly, I'd say just spreading the word right now to keep the program going, and with the kids now, just making sure they learn the sport, get the passing down and catching, really just fundamentals right now.
All right, Gavin, great to catch up with you. Good luck at Temple.
Thank you, sir.